Well, they tried to hide it. But they're way more into you than you realize. Well, and I know that sounds bold, but listen closely. If you've been feeling a strange shift lately, like their energy keeps brushing up against yours, even when their words this isn't in your head. Well, there's a particular kind of attraction that doesn't show up as loud pursuit. It shows up as restraint. It shows up as someone acting fine while their attention keeps finding you. Well, it shows up as mixed signals that make you question your own perception, even though deep down you know what you felt. Well, and the reason this is so confusing is because their behavior isn't matching the intensity underneath it. They're trying to look unbothered. They're trying to look in control. But their feelings are louder than their performance. And you've been picking up on the parts they can't fully hide. Well, you may have been telling yourself, if they liked me, I'd know. Or if it was real, it wouldn't feel like this. And maybe part of you has tried to shut the door emotionally. Well, because it's exhausting to live in the in-between. Well, but then something happens. A moment, a look, a message that's too perfectly timed, a sudden warmth that doesn't fit the distance, and you're right back in that place of wondering. Well, not because you're desperate, but because you're observant, because you notice patterns. You notice when someone's attention lingers. You notice when their voice changes, when they say your name, or when they get just a little too aware of who else is around you. And what hurts is that you can sense there's something there, yet you're being asked to pretend there isn't. That's the part that messes with your heart and your pride at the same time. Well, here's the truth that will steady you. If they were only mildly interested, you'd get simplicity. You'd get casual consistency. You'd get easy, predictable effort. Well, when someone is only a little curious, they don't overthink it. They just do what they want. But when someone is way more into you than they expected to be, you get contradiction. Well, you get intensity followed by silence. You get closeness followed by sudden distance. Well, you get someone who seems drawn to you and then almost immediately acts like they have to prove to themselves they're not. That kind of back and forth isn't always a sign of games. Well, a lot of the time it's a sign of internal conflict, desire fighting with fear, attachment fighting with pride, vulnerability fighting with the need to stay protected. And that's why they're hiding it. Well, not because you're unlovable, not because you did something wrong. They're hiding it because liking you threatens something in them. It threatens their control, their image, their sense of safety. Well, for some people, feelings don't feel romantic at first. They feel dangerous. Because feelings create stakes. If they admit they care, then suddenly you can affect them. You can disappoint them. You can reject them. You can leave. And if they've been burned before, or if they've trained themselves to believe that needing someone is weakness, then being into you becomes a problem they try to manage instead of a truth they just live in. So they keep it quiet, they keep it contained, they keep it reasonable, but what they don't realize is that real emotion doesn't stay contained. It leaks through everything. Think about how they are when they don't have to perform. Late at night, when no one's watching, when they're alone with their thoughts, they can go all day looking busy, looking detached, not giving you what you want. But then the day ends, the noise fades, and their mind starts circling back. They pick up their phone, not to confess anything, not to pour their heart out, but to check if you posted, to check if you viewed their story, to check if you're online. They scroll, they pause, they put the phone down like they're trying to be strong, and then a few minutes later, they pick it up again like something in them can't leave it alone. That isn't casual curiosity. That's someone trying to soothe a craving without admitting it's a craving. And that's the first major shift you need to understand. They're not only hiding their feelings from you. In many ways, they're hiding them from themselves. So the big question becomes, if they're feeling that much, why aren't they just honest? Because honesty would force a decision. Honesty would force them to risk the one thing they're trying to avoid, vulnerability. And vulnerability isn't just being sweet. Vulnerability is admitting you matter to me. Vulnerability is letting another person's response actually count. Some people will do almost anything to avoid that moment. They'll act casual. They'll keep things undefined. They'll give you pieces, not because they want to hurt you, but because they want to stay safe while still staying close. It's like they're standing at the edge of something real, feeling the pull, then stepping back so they can breathe again. And if you've been interpreting their stepping back as rejection, this is where the story flips. Sometimes distance is not the absence of feelings. Sometimes distance is what people create when their feelings are bigger than their ability to handle them. That's why one of the clearest signs shows up as almost behavior. They almost reach out. They almost send the message. They type and delete. They react and then undo it. They hover at the edges of your world with casual excuses that don't fully make sense. They send something random, something that doesn't need to be sent, just to open the door without admitting they wanted the door open. Or they disappear for a bit, then return with an energy that feels like they've been thinking because they have. If you've ever felt them circling you, like they keep coming close, but won't land. That's not you being dramatic. That's the push-pull of someone who wants contact but fears what contact will lead to. Because contact leads to conversation. Conversation leads to closeness. Closeness leads to exposure. And exposure is the one place they don't feel in control. Another sign is the way they remember you. Not in a polite, generic way, but in the way people remember what they care about. They remember small things you said that didn't benefit them. They remember the detail you mentioned once, weeks ago. They remember how you take your coffee, or that one story you told, or the thing you laughed at when you didn't think anyone noticed. And you might think that's just being nice, but no. Nice is remembering. Birthdays, attachment, and the tiny deals that your brain only stores when someone has emotional weight. It means you're not just present in their environment, you're present in their mind. And when someone carries you in their mind, you start showing up in their decisions, their moods, their timing, their reactions, even when they're trying to act like you don't. Pay attention to how aware they are of your attention. If you pull back a little, they notice. If you stop initiating, they notice. If you become quieter, they notice. They might not call it out, but their behavior shifts like they felt a change in the air. Suddenly, they're more present. Suddenly, they check in. Suddenly, they find a reason to be where you are, or to say something, or to remind you they exist. That doesn't happen when someone is indifferent. People don't track what they don't value. And it's not even always jealousy in the petty sense. A lot of the time, it's fear. Fear that they waited too long. Fear that your feelings faded. Fear that you are not going to keep giving them access without clarity. Because your detachment forces a reality they've been avoiding. You are not guaranteed. And here's a sign that's so subtle, it's easy to miss. Their mood shifts around you. If you're warm, they soften. If you're distant, they get restless. If you're happy without them, something in them tightens. Sometimes it looks like irritation. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like them suddenly trying harder. But what it really means is your energy affects them. You have impact. And impact scares people who are used to feeling unaffected. That's when they start little tests. Not always consciously, not always maliciously, but you'll feel it. They'll say something slightly provocative to see if you care. They'll mention someone else to see if you react. They'll pull back to see if you chase. Then they'll watch what you do because your response gives them information they're too afraid to ask for directly. It's their way of measuring the connection without having to confess they want the connection. Now, let's talk about the why now, because usually something triggered this shift. Well, sometimes it's because you changed your energy, you stopped overgiving, you stopped making it easy, you stopped trying to prove yourself. Well, you stopped showing up as someone who would accept uncertainty just to keep contact. And when you did that, it did something to them. Well, because the version of you who always reaches out, always explains, always tries to fix it, that version makes them feel safe. Well, not because it's healthy, but because it means they don't have to risk much. Well, the moment you pulled your energy back, the moment you started choosing yourself, the connection stopped being a comfort and started being a question. Well, and questions bother people when the answer matters. Another trigger is that they saw you being noticed. Sometimes they don't fully recognize your value until they see how easily someone else could. Oh, well, and sometimes the simplest trigger is distance. They thought being away from you would make the feelings fade, and it didn't. Well, it followed them into quiet moments, into random memories, and into songs and places and ordinary things that suddenly carried your name. That's the moment attraction becomes attachment. Well, attraction is I like them. Attachment is I miss them. Attachment is I wonder what they're doing. Attachment is I feel strange when we don't talk. Attachment is I keep checking. Well, even though I told myself I wouldn't. And once attachment is there, something else starts happening beneath the surface. They begin to imagine the future, well, even if they would never admit that out loud. Well, you'll hear it in little slips. That love this place. We've got a reminder, there's some of you. We should go there sometime. You get it. That. It's subtle, but psychologically it's huge. Well, because people don't place you in their future if you don't matter. Even if they're not ready to commit, your presence starts shaping their mind. Well, and when someone's mind starts shaping itself around you, that's not a crush anymore. That's a bond forming, whether they call it that or not. Well, now here's the part that might hit you right in the center. The deeper they get, the more scared they become that you're moving on without them. Well, that fear is the engine behind so much of the weird behavior. It's why they pop up when you're finally doing well. It's why they reappear when you finally detach. Well, it's why they suddenly offer crumbs when you stop begging for a meal. And yes, sometimes people do this in unhealthy ways, and you need to protect yourself from that. Well, but emotionally, the reason is often simple. They can't stand the idea of losing access to you. Not because they want to own you, but because you became important and they didn't plan for that. Well, They tried to keep it casual. They tried to keep it controlled. But the heart doesn't always follow the plan. So when they sense you slipping out of reach, their feelings rise up like panic. And panic makes people do things they swore they wouldn't do. So if you've been asking yourself, was I imagining it? No, you weren't imagining the shift. Well, you were sensing what was happening beneath the surface. You were feeling the tension between what they show and what they feel. You were noticing the moments where their mask slipped. Well, because there's a difference between someone who doesn't care and someone who's fighting themselves. Indifference is clean. It's simple. It doesn't watch you. It doesn't track you. Well, it doesn't fluctuate. It doesn't get activated by your absence. What you've been dealing with isn't simple. It's emotion under pressure. Well, and even if they never said the words, the truth has been showing up in the places they couldn't fully control: their attention, their timing, their reactions, their curiosity, well, their inability to fully let you go. Well, now let's bring it back to what matters most: you. Because you can understand their feelings perfectly and still end up stuck if you make their hidden emotions your responsibility. Well, so here's the grounded truth. Don't chase their confession. Watch their consistency. Well, feelings without action can keep you trapped in a loop where you keep waiting for the version of them that only appears in flashes. Well, if they're truly more into you than you realized, it will eventually show up as movement, not just intensity. It will show up as effort that repeats, not just a moment that spikes. Well, it will show up as respect, clarity, and the willingness to meet you where you are. And if it doesn't, then their feelings, no matter how real, are not a safe place for your heart. Well, you are not here to be someone's secret. You are not here to be someone's almost. You are not here to shrink your needs so someone else can stay comfortable. Well, and here's the final reframe that will set you free. They tried to hide it because they thought hiding would keep them safe. Well, but the more they hide, the more obvious it becomes. Not to everyone, but to you, because you're the one they're reacting to. Once you matter, you matter. Well, once you imprint on someone's mind, they can't unknow you. The question isn't whether they feel something. The question is whether they're willing to be brave enough to treat it like it's real. Well, so take this as validation if you needed it, but also take it as permission. You don't have to chase what is meant for you. If they're truly that into you, they'll find their way out of hiding. Cool. And if they don't, you'll still be okay, because you'll choose a love that doesn't require you to doubt your worth in silence. Cool. If this message described your situation, stay close to this space and tell me in the comments what you want most right now. Clarity, communication, or closure.
Okay, this is so interesting because I don't know about you, but I have had love readings popping up on my For You page to the point where I have to literally exit the app because I feel so attacked in the best way possible by my manifestation and what I've been trying to call in for myself in terms of love. I literally kid you not that each word that this reader was saying, every word that I've heard today in regards to love and pointing in the direction of true love, I found myself going, like freaking out, like, oh my God, why does this actually feel so real? And so if you're in alignment with that energy and you've had that feeling all day of like, oh my God, I feel like I'm completely immersed in the highest timeline of love for myself right now, to the point where you almost have no choice, like it's coming for you, okay? Like that reality is here, then this message just might be for you. I had to dive in and find out what this energy is and what all is needed to be known right now, because it's just crazy what's happening. If you can feel it, you know. So I'm just going to trust that if you are seeing this message is for you, and your divine counterpart is here. Your divine counterpart has entered the building, and it is a presence that you literally cannot miss. Like, you cannot deny the presence of this masculine energy. I'm hearing like dun da da da, like something is announcing this person's presence. They are in such a high status energy, high value energy, that they have, it's like trumpets are announcing their presence. Okay, so you could be seeing signs and symbols. For example, the 3 white dogs, for some reason that came to mind. Stars specifically, kind of like what's going on here, but throughout like your day, just seeing them in random places where you wouldn't normally notice stars. So we have the Prince of Wands, the Moon card, and the 8 of Wands. This is something that you've been manifesting for a while. Like, this is something that you have been calling in for yourself for a while. And this is a confirmation of that energy of like, oh my God, like it's here. You can't stop it. It's happening, okay? And it's coming in a way that is so, it's like overwhelming in the best way possible. It's just this energy of like, let me love you. Oh my God, this person, they don't even know why they're so drawn to you. They don't understand it, why they're so drawn to your energy. They haven't felt this way in a very long time, is what I'm being told. And they've never been so curious about someone. Like, they've never been so drawn in based on curiosity, to discover more about someone, or just to, it's like, get a taste of your presence. And that could be physically and spiritually, so take what resonates. With the 9 of Hearts on the bottom of the deck, this feels like you are getting what you asked for. I feel like this person didn't ask for this. Like, who you are connecting with, maybe you're already connected with this energy, or this energy is what's coming in for you. I don't think they asked for this. I think that they're quite shocked. Like, meeting you came as a surprise. Like, they genuinely were not expecting to meet you in the way that they did, in the place that they did. And they're almost wondering, like, what are you, like, where did you come from? What are you doing here? With the 2 of Pentacles also coming out, signifying a deep understanding of one's self. This is someone who has been on a spiritual journey for some time, so that's really important here. This is not someone who you need to coddle. This is not someone who you are going to need to fix or even have a desire to fix. This is just straight up someone who comes with their own power. They are coming in with their own energy. And that's what I mean by, like, you cannot deny this person's presence, because you are going to recognize that they are different. You're not necessarily going to recognize them, but you are going to recognize that they are different from, it's like, anyone that you've ever been with before. Also, the 2 of Pentacles is a confirmation that you both share a similar history in some way. It could be related to past relationships. It could be related to past experiences, like life experience. You both could carry a lot of wisdom. This is giving me Hierophant and High Priestess energy here. Whatever it is, though, like, you are much more similar than you realize. I encourage you to throw out the terms twin flame, soulmate when it comes to this connection. Because if you're truly in a twin flame connection, then you're not even worried about calling it that. Like, you are worried. You're not worried. You're just so immersed in a completely different experience of life that stuff doesn't even matter. Like, identities, labels, none of that stuff matters anymore, because the twin flame union will just open your eyes to the world in a way that it's like the stuff that you read in books, in movies. It's like the fantasy type of love, and the Magician card coming out as well. It's going to connect you so strongly to your personal power that it's like, wherever you go, whatever you do, your presence, the magic that is connected, that you are connected to, the magic that surrounds you, that is within you, is just so powerful that the world just starts doing things for you. Like, the universe, people just start doing things for you. You just have naturally exotic experiences wherever you go, because this love, this magic is so powerful. And when you come into connection with this person, it's all just magnified. Like, everything just becomes stronger and stronger. In the Tower moment, it's going to lead to a lot of clarification of so many different situations, of so many different relationships. It's also going to require you to really shed any last parts of yourself that you don't want to carry with you into the future, that you don't want to pass down to generations. Like, it is going to be a requirement that you shed those last parts of yourself with the Ace of Wands. Now, this has been really intense, because that type of union is very intense. And so I encourage you, if this doesn't feel like something that you're ready for, or like you're in fight mode where you're like, oh my God, yeah, like, yeah, I'm scared, but oh God, I'm ready for this, then I encourage you to maybe save this video for later, or just, you know, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. You don't have to accept this energy if you don't feel like you are in a position to. This is really encouraging of, it's like taking your time, not overthinking, and also just, it's like one breath at a time, one day at a time. You don't need to know the outcome anymore. You just trust that you're being led in the right direction, and that good things are going to happen. Good things are going to happen because of this connection, and also within this connection. It's just a part of your path with the Hermit card here. There's a reason why you've been disconnected from everything and everyone in your life that you previously once knew, and there's a reason why you are being propelled into this new timeline. It's really important for you to, it's really important for you to make the right decision for yourself right now. I'm just going to pause that to make sure it doesn't disappear, with the Princess of Hearts and the Emperor on the bottom. This is someone who, the Star card also peeking out here. This is someone who is fully in support of taking things at your pace. They're in no rush to, like, they don't want anything from you. Okay, this person just wants to experience life with you, however that looks. There's no pressure. They want to listen to your needs. Like, this is the difference between what you are about to experience and what you've experienced previously. This is someone who wants to listen so that they understand what you need. It's not about them. This is about you. This is about divine feminine. That's how you are going to know that this connection is divinely guided. Because they are all about you. It's all about taking things at your pace. It's all about paying attention to your boundaries. Now, I'm not saying that this person isn't going to take what they can get. They're not going to, that's not what they're in it for. That's not what they're here for. They genuinely can't help themselves sometimes. Okay, so just be aware of that. Like, they will listen to you if you say no, or if something doesn't sit right with you. They're totally okay with that. It's like they're begging you to speak your mind, to let them know what you like and what you don't like. But that's not what they're in it for. They're just in it because your energy is magnetizing. Your energy is magic. They recognize you as magic. And that is why this person wants to be with you, because they recognize you. Not because of what you do for them, not because of what they can take from you, but because of what they feel like when they are with you. They feel powerful. They feel magical when they are with you. And they like that. Because it's rare that they've come into connection with that. So, wow. I love that. That was so intense. I'm so happy. If you're seeing this video, I'm so happy for you. As always, if you feel called to dive into a personal reading ever, you can check out my website. I look forward to connecting with you and sending so much love and admiration to you.